understanding this today's session, the truth revealed by Ashtavakra. Pray to Swamiji to let us all experience a breakthrough today. All right, so again, those who just joined, warm welcome once again. Let's enter into the 5th session today. Next slide. So a quick recap on the previous 5 verses revealed by Ashtavakra. So I'm just going to quickly run through just as a reminder for people who are joining for the first time or not aware what happened in the last 5 sessions. Okay, so basically he revealed in the first sutra, he said, if you aspire for liberation, my child, this is Ashtavakra talking to King Janaka, right, who requested Ashtavakra to reveal the truth. So he said, if you aspire for liberation, my child, shun the objects of the senses as poison, they are poisoned, and seek forgiveness, sincerity, kindness, contentment, and truth as nectar. Okay? So that means look for these things as the nectar, the amrita of life. Then in the second sutra, he says, you're neither earth, nor water, nor fire, nor air, nor ether. That means you are beyond the 5 elements. In order to attain liberation, realize yourself as a knower of all these. That means a knower of everything, and consciousness itself. And in the third sutra, he said, if you detach from the body and rest in intelligence, you will at once be happy, peaceful, and free from bondage. So in the third sutra, he revealed how if you unclutch from the body, see, one of the things many people suffer is to clutch to the body. So he said, establish in the intelligence, not clutch to the body. If you are able to do that, you'll be happy, peaceful, and free from all bondages, right? He said, free from bondage. And in the fourth sutra, he said, if you do not belong to Brahmana. Now he talked about the social status or, the social grouping. He said, you don't belong to the Brahmana or any other caste or any ashrama. You are not visible to the eyes. He's again reminding him, you're not visible to eyes means what? Your consciousness, your energy, unattached, formless, witness of all are you, be blissful. Okay, so he again revealed the qualities, the essence of being consciousness. And then in last week, he again revealed the duality, how we are pulled from one extreme to the other extreme. He said, you're not, basically all this duality, virtue, vice, pain, pleasure, all this extreme, they're all of the mind, not you, not of you. That means you're not the mind, right? You say you're something else. So don't get caught by all this duality. Oh, all-pervading one. He's again addressing Janaka as all-pervading one means what? Consciousness. You're neither the doer nor the enjoyer. Verily, you are ever free. That means by your very nature, you're free. Okay, so these were the 5 sutras revealed by Ashtavakra after King Janaka asked for the truth. Let's enter into today's sutra, the 6th verse. So listen carefully. He said, verily, you are ever free. He again emphasized, you are ever free. You are the one seer of all and really ever free. Okay, catch the key word, seer. Verily, this alone is a bondage that you see the seer and as other than such. Okay, so he's basically, you need to understand Ashtavakra because he's enlightened being. He just radiates this pure energy, and the truth that he delivers is just, so straightforward, so sharp, precise. So he said, verily, you are ever free. When the seer, the one who is seeing, witnessing, right, is affected by the sin, the bondage starts. Again, here he said, see, by your very nature, your being is pure. You're just consciousness. But the moment you start associating yourself as one other than the seer, the problem starts. This is the only bondage which you have. There is no other bondage. Let me again break down this verse. See, there are three parts. The seer, the one who is witnessing, okay? Seeing and the seen, okay? It means the seen in front of you, and the seeing and the seer, the one who is witnessing. These three parts, okay? The moment you're caught with the seen, bondage starts. It means you are attracted by the seen, not as a witness. Bondage start. Or you are caught in the seeing. Again, bondage start. Okay? So, here he says, if you just establish yourself as a witness, regardless what you're seeing and the seeing, okay? You are free. You are ever free. The problem with normal human being is we are caught in the seeing or the seeing. Understand? So imagine when, as a child, when you're young, as a baby, you're just seeing. You're the seer, right? You're just seeing, right? So that's why there's no bondage, there's no mind. The moment you sort of are attached to the scene, let's say you see something, you are attached, or you're afraid, whatever may be, the duality, that's the start of the mind, the bondage start. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. So here, Swamiji give a more detailed explanation. So please understand this part. He said in Vedanta, Vedanta is one stream of Hinduism which work on the intellect. That means the knowledge, okay, of the truth of the scriptures. So there is a saying called Shusti Drishti or Drishti Shusti. Okay, so you may be one is Shusti first and then Drishti. The other one is Drishti first, then Shusti. So what is it? What does it mean? So this is the part that he wants us to again be reminded that it is not that the world is there and you're seeing. No, because you see, the world is there. Because you're seeing, the world is there. See, the world exists just because you're seeing it. Even the modern day psychologists say that you see only what you want to see. Correct? Right? Selective seeing or even selective listening. Your mind records only 2% of what is happening around you. Your eyes only capture certain selective thing you want to see. You do not see what is happening. You only see what you want to see. Okay? So you choose the 2% and see what you want to see. So that's why this term, Drishti Shushti, means that you project in the way that you want to see. And you connect in the way you want to. And you understand in the way you want to. Okay? You don't see things as they happen or hear things as they are said. You hear only what you want to hear and what you want to see and what is actually spoken. Okay? Not what is actually spoken. Someone may be telling you, but you only hear what you want to hear. Right? In the same way, you only see what you want to see and you do not see what actually is in front of you. If you're actually objective seeing, you're not attached to anything, you're just witnessing. You'll be able to take in everything as it is. But unfortunately, most people, when the mind is already formed, you have that likes and dislikes. Remember I told in the last session, when you have likes, dislike, you are already in the bondage. Because life is choicelessness. But when you start liking this, dislike this, bondage start. Okay? Because like and dislike, fear or greed, that is where the mind can exploit us. The mind exploit you when you have this extreme of, I like this, I don't like this, I'm greedy for this, but I fear this. So the moment you have all this, starts the bondage. So when the seer, the witness, is affected by the seen can never reflect reality. Understand? It is not reflecting the reality because you are already affected by the seen. Let's say in front of you, your mother started scolding you. Okay? If you are just witnessing everything, you just watch her and the scene, what is happening. But you're affected by the scene. You get angry, you get frustrated, you get sad. Emotion has already been triggered, right? So when all these emotions, different things that churns inside you, that means what? The scene is never reflecting the reality. You are actually carrying certain subjective interpretation of the scene already. Okay? So when the seer is affected by the scene, reality can never be seen. You can't see the reality. It is what Ashtavakra emphasizes here. He said, if you fall back as being the seer, the witness, the watcher we talked about in last session, then forever you're free. You're just witnessing everything. There's no good, there's no bad, there's no this way or that way. You're just witnessing everything. Just like how Mahadeva, Paramashiva, he is just witnessing everything. He's not judging. But when you start having your judgment, your criticism, your like and dislike, this is where you're already affected by the scene. The moment you're affected by the scene, you can't see the reality as it is, what life is showing you. It is what you want to see and how you want to interpret it, what in front of you. So that means what? Bondage start. You start creating more mess. Okay? So let's go to the next slide. So I'm entering now, today I covered 2 verses, okay? In the last few sessions, I only cover 1 verse. But today, because it's a continuation of the last verse, 6th verse, he said, you who have been bitten by the great black serpent of egoism, I am the doer. How people become involved in the scene is because you're bitten by this thing called ego. I'm the doer. I'm the person doing it. Okay? So he said, don't be bitten by this serpent. Okay? This snake, what do you call that? He said, instead, drink the nectar of the faith. I'm not the doer. Be happy. Okay? When you understand that you're not the one doing it, you will feel that so much bliss and so much load is taken off from you, from your shoulder. Okay? The moment you just think, oh, I'm the person doing, then you will feel that such a huge load is on your chest. So he said in this sutra, Ashtavakra also give a technique because King Janaka missed the truth. See, in the last 6th verse, if he caught the truth, he will not be asking for the next verse. But because King Janaka did not grasp the truth when he was delivered, so as a result, Ashtavakra had to give further instruction. Okay, so he said that, see, Swamiji said, if you understood the truth, there is no need to practice. You just start living it. But unfortunately, King Janaka missed the truth, so Ashtavakra had to give the 7th verse. He said, techniques are given to those fools. Given to the fools who simply miss the truth. When you miss the truth, you're considered a fool because you have to begin more technique, right? An intelligent man who does not need techniques. When the truth is spoken, the intelligent man immediately captures it and understands it. It is only the person who misses it who will then ask, Master, what you say is really beautiful truth, but how do I practice it? How do I go about living it? The moment you bring such words, the question, how do I practice? You have missed the truth. Okay? Next slide. So, Ashtavakra has to tell King Janaka, you think that you are the doer. Now start thinking, I'm not the doer. Right? That's why he said in the 7th verse. See, some of you say, simply thinking that I'm not the doer or having faith that I'm not the doer, okay, will not liberate you directly. But you will create a tremendous pressure, that means pressure inside you, like load inside you, that you will become completely frustrated. So frustrated, you just drop everything. See, when you're told the truth, if you caught it, you don't have to practice, you start living it. But when you don't, he has to give a technique for you to drop it. For the fools who need to go through the suffering before they get it. Okay? It's just like he already given this to you, but you don't believe it. You don't. Your mind is not subtle enough to catch it. So you ask. So okay, let you practice this technique. Then you practice already, you get fed up. Yeah, how come cannot? In the end, you just give up. Now, in the giving up, you caught it. Okay. So master is like this. If you don't get it, okay, he give you some technique, make you frustrated. Then after that, you give up your mind. So this is the trick. Okay. He said, by your very nature, you're intelligent and you understand the truth. Techniques are just to make you tired. That's why meditation is to make you tired, just to wear your mind down. Okay, when your mind is, I'm so tired already, then the enlightenment happens. But the mind is still active, asking for more, then you're just postponing. Okay, so somebody said, people always come and tell him, say, Master, I tried to start meditating, but I'm not able to. Please advise, what should I do? Okay, just like Jaradika, I'm not able to be integrated. What with time? Tell me what is the technique? What to do? So he said, meditation techniques are given to you just to make you understand that you cannot meditate. Okay? No intelligent man can practice any technique for more than 21 days with inspiration. Okay? After 21 days, you get tired, you get bored. Your mind would start, getting tired. You want to do something else. So he can practice it with perspiration. And it's a lot of, sweat and a lot of hardship, but never with inspiration. Okay, so next slide. So he said, I want to tell you a few things about modern man. We're all in this modern era now, right? So we are considered the modern man. He said, modern man has become so complicated. That's the truth. Things used to be so simple. But now we think too many layers. The mind has become so polluted. Okay, so working with modern men has become so difficult. That's what he said. We need millions of masters. So you one master cannot beat you up. You need a lot of masters to beat you up. Once upon a time, one master is enough to make one person enlightened. But now, because the mind is so complicated, the modern human being, so they need many masters. They go this one and get beaten up. They go this place and get beaten up. So that's why he said we need millions of masters so that the modern man can drop the complication. It is because we never listen when the truth is being stated or given. Okay. Never think that you're listening to me. See, Swamiji say, don't think that you're listening to me, right? As long as I speak the words, which relate with your logic or go with your vested interest, you'll say, yeah, what Swamiji is correct. You listen. Okay? But the moment I say something that goes against it, you close yourself to these words, and then if you're courageous enough, you stand out and question me. But you don't. You're not so courageous, and you want to be socially polite in front of Swamiji. So you do not allow this word to enter into your being. You will just listen, but inside your heart, you're not allowing it to be part of you. You just, because of your logic, because your logic cannot accept it. Okay? Many of us do that. Okay? When Swamiji says something, we say, what? No! Right? we want to run away. Right? When it's not aligned to your vested interest or how your logic can understand, you just want to run away. Right? That's the thing. Okay? I myself is also one of the culprits. Okay, run away. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this comes to the main crux of why meditation is useless. Okay, so this is Swamiji's personal story before his enlightenment. Okay, his ultimate flowering. It means permanently the enlightenment is established in him permanently. Okay, so please listen to this story. It is not a story, it is an initiation. Okay, just like how unclutching is initiated through Arunagiri Yeshwara. Swamiji's experience with Arunagiri Yeshwara, his guru. This is also initiation by Swamiji. Please listen without judgment, pure listening. Allow these words to enter into your being so that you catch the truth. You can only catch the truth by listening to Guru's words. Okay? So all of you, please sit with the back straight now. Drop all the logic, all your vested interest. Just listen to Swamiji's story before enlightenment. You will understand what he went through and you will be able to relate with that. You can simply mirror his neuron and catch the truth. Okay? So listen with awareness. He said, I left home when I was very young. He left at 17 years old. Okay? When I was 17, I started going to various monastery ashrams and wandered from village to village, right? During his Pararajaka, which is, in India, when, like the sannyas, when they take the sannyas, they're supposed to go out, just like how Buddha used to go out and back, with his begging bowl and just a few pieces of clothes, right? So, which means they have to have complete trust to existence to provide. They cannot carry money. They would just have to beg and, survive. Okay? So this is what Swamiji decided. At 17, he left home from the comfort of, his home. The mother was taking care of him and all that. He decided to go and do this tapas. Okay? He said, I tried so many techniques, so many different methods. Of course, the ego and determination that I had at that young age helped me accomplish what I have achieved, right? So at 17, he achieved quite a lot. It means in terms of powers, in terms of, yogic body, he achieved a lot, okay, at a very young age. He said, I tell you honestly, if I talk about those experiences now, people call it tapas, like, called ascetic practice. That means, like going through the hardship of the practice and whatnot. But actually, it was not tapas for him. Okay, he said, I was just enjoying it all. That means he was just enjoying all these techniques and all this, lifestyle. So then they asked me, Master, how did you do such great things? You're great. You're Mahatma. That means great soul, right? Then Swamiji said, I tell them, actually, I think you are that Mahatma. To be living in the same house, in the with the same car, with the same routine, with the same spouse. I cannot imagine living in the same house for more than a few months. Okay. See, for him, he needs to be moving around. You know, for him, he get bored, so he needs to move around to go and experience, see the world. He said, for us, we are the one. He said, you're the great soul because you're able to stay the same house for a donkey years with the same spouse. He said, I can't do it. Okay, so he was just joking. Next slide. He's very, very hilarious, very funny. Okay, it was not tapas for me. It was just freedom. Understand? For seeker, freedom is the most precious. Freedom is what they will never give up. Okay? So he said, it was just freedom. I enjoyed the freedom. Every day I was in a new place. I was experimenting with all this truth. I was playing with all these techniques. I even stayed inside the Taj Mahal. You know, Taj Mahal is one of the historical monument, right, in India. For 7 days, I related well with the security people, the security guards there, and lived in their quarters itself. So that means he make friends with the security guards, and the security guards allow him to stay with them in the Taj Mahal. Okay, can you imagine this kind of freedom in your life? That means he just go around and make friends, and he just enjoy life as a happening. It's just a complete freedom without planning. Everything is just flowing with life. Okay, so he said, this is the freedom I enjoy. After a few years of this kind of lifestyle, right, the effortless withering away of the will was just happening in me. That means all this will, all this just start going away. I had tried all possible techniques and methods. Okay, he has come to a stage where I try everything. After 7 to 8 years, suddenly one day, okay, I was overcome by a deep depression. It's like a dark night of the soul, okay? He said, I fell into deep depression. I started looking at my life from day one. And I thought, what is happening? I given my whole life for one objective, which is enlightenment. And after all that, I have not experienced it. The cream of life is youth. I gambled with my youth. Imagine, at his prime of his youth, he spent all his life on seeking, right? I gambled my whole life for this one idea of enlightenment. Okay, next slide. So you can imagine he was just reaching up to the boiling point, totally depressed. Next slide. So he said, meditators are the ultimate gamblers, okay? See, ordinary people gamble with a little bit of money, a little bit of wealth, okay? But meditators gamble with their whole life. He said, I had sacrificed my whole life. The cream of my life had been sacrificed in this journey. Neither had I achieved the truth, nor did I feel I was getting close to it, okay? I was not able to convince myself that I was doing well. I was in deep depression. He's tried all the techniques, all the truth, but yet he felt that nothing is happening. Okay, so after so many years, he tried all, nothing is happening. You know what type of thoughts come when one is depressed, when deep depressed, you know, right? I started thinking that the very idea of enlightenment was a foolishness, was foolishness. He suspects someone cheated, it's a conspiracy or some kind of scam. He said, the very idea of enlightenment was foolishness, and it was just a conspiracy against humanity. So he started having all these negative thoughts. I felt that a few egoistic people who wanted to claim that they were in some way better or higher than others, because they could not claim their superiority in other fields, had just started creating some concept called enlightenment and created this idea about enlightenment. So he started to suspect. Okay, can you see how the mind plays out? He Imagine he was surrounded by gurus. Remember, he has so many gurus who initiated him and all this. And in the deep depression, because he has not attained it, he was in this, going through this negativity inside. He started to suspect, hey, there's no such thing as enlightenment. I try always. That means what? How come it's still not happening to me? I'm fed up. I think somebody is playing a big trick on me. It's a conspiracy. So he was going through this kind of very negative thought trend. Next slide. So he said, honestly, that was what I thought. I thought that these people who had created this concept were the ones who were not able to create wealth or show that they were superior in any field. They can't achieve anything in the outer world. That's why they create this thing called enlightenment. Neither had they achieved something in the political field to show their worth or success in the society, nor did have good looks to go to some sort of show business. So he was just fed up. He said, I thought that there were people who could not achieve success in any field. Hence, they created this field called selling imagination, created a new market called enlightenment. Okay, so he was just thinking all this kind of thing. He's starting to suspect this whole thing about enlightenment is just, foolishness. So my whole life was inspired by Ramakrishna, okay, Paramahamsa. This is a picture of this Ramakrishna. He's one of the enlightened master in Swamiji's hometown, okay. I had a beautiful photograph of him. So he carried a photograph of me everywhere he goes during his wandering days. I always carry it with me. I used to offer puja, prayer to this photo every morning. So he prayed to Ramakrishna. And I used to constantly repeat a mantra 24 hours a day, the mantra given by him. I had mastered the technique by rolling the chapa mala, that means the rosary, the mala, with the rudraksha mala, and he would just roll, and how many rounds he would say, like, how many mantras he would chant. Even in his sleep, he can roll, okay? He is trained, he mastered in such a way in the sleep, he can still do the japa. How amazing. Actually, it's not a big deal. Just try to sit and do japa, repeating the name of the God. Automatically, you will learn the technique. He just said, this is something you can train your mind to do. So he mastered that even because he was doing it day in, day out. Okay, next slide. And then Swamiji said that he carried 2 malas with him, okay, with 108 beads on which each one. He said, I would hold one mala on one hand, and if I finish chanting the mantra 108 times with one mala, I will move to the other one bead on the other second mala. Like he can just switch like this, so efficient. He can just, can you imagine his 2 brains are working? He can just do one and switch to the other side. Okay, so I would have chanted the mantra at least 10,000 times. Okay, this is the way I practice daily. Every day, he just do the mantra at least 10,000 times. Okay. So once the frustration happened in him, it was so deep that he said, I just picked up the photograph of Ramakrishna, okay, and threw it in big force. He was so angry, okay. He was so angry, he threw the picture of Ramakrishna. And then he also took these both malas that he was chanting mantra with, that he has repeated the mantra for so many times. He just threw everything into the river. He was at a river called Narmada River. This is one of the sacred river in central India, okay? Because he was by the side of the river, he was just so depressed. He just threw everything into the river. He said, not only did I throw the mala, I said to myself, along with all this mala, I'm throwing the mantra also, he declared. Let it leave me. He just threw the mantra along with the mala, okay? So from that day on, he said, I forgot the mantra that I had been chanting for so many years, okay? By his sheer frustration and declaration, he just threw everything out. I simply forgot the mantra. It just left my mind completely, okay? See how you can imagine how frustrated Swamiji was. Okay, next slide. And then he said, I decided, now I'm neither going to do any spiritual practice, nor I'm going to lead a life of sannyas. Okay? He was a sannyas, remember? He said, he just threw the towel and just fed up. Okay? I decided to live as I wanted. First, I wanted to rest. Enough. I just want to rest. I don't do anything. Then I thought maybe I would get married and live a life as I wanted. Okay, he even thought that, or live a life that whatever it comes. He was just like fed up whatever comes. But I decided no more spiritual practice for me. Enough. I was so convinced that the whole thing was a conspiracy against humanity. Okay, so I threw away the goal, the lifestyle, the practice, the mala, the photograph, and I just rested. I just didn't want to do anything. So you can imagine he has reached to his eyeball and he just fed up. This went on the seventh day. After that, I joined the same group that was conspiring against humanity. He said he joined the group. Something happened in me. Because of this deep relaxation, he was just in this state of relaxation. Suddenly, something in me broke inside me. The unclutching happened, and the shaft, which he created, right? The pain shaft or the joy shaft, whatever shaft that he created on this journey, trying to seek for enlightenment, was never again clutched. The shaft just broke. Okay. Now I know the view from both sides, the view from that side and the view from this side. I know the struggle of that side and I know the other shore as well. That is why I tell you very clearly that no technique led me to the truth. Practicing different techniques only did one thing to me. It made me tired and completely frustrated. Okay, next slide. So now digest this truth. Let me tell you very clearly, I did a lot of tapas because I was just foolish. Be very clear, there's no need for any of these techniques or tapas to become enlightened. I can tell you how you should live to accomplish your goal of enlightenment. Just, because I lived in the manner that was not necessary. Because I lived the life that was not necessary, which was not necessary, I can tell you what is necessary for you now. He said, it's like I have 10,000 keys in front of me and only one lock. One key will open that lock. The opening itself will only take 1 second. Once you know the key, 1 second, you open the lock. But finding the right key to open that lock took 9 years. It took him 9 years to open that lock. Okay, the key to unlock the lock. Okay. The time I spent playing with the keys is what we call tapas. Okay, he was playing with 10,000 techniques, right? I was playing and playing with 10,000 keys. The opening itself took only 1 second for that thing to happen. Okay, why should you play with 10,000 keys? Why? Here I am, I'm giving you that key. Straight away, just open with it. Why do you want to go and search for the other 9,999 keys when I'm already holding the key? He said, just digest the truth that is expressed. Okay? If it can enter into your very being, then I will be content that whatever has to happen has already happened in you. Okay? Next slide. So he said all techniques are created and given to you to make you understand that techniques cannot help. Instead, you need to go straight to the understanding. Only by understanding only you have a breakthrough, not techniques. Okay? If you're already tired of techniques, now is the time you drop your mind and look into yourself. Look into yourself. Be a seer, a witness. Just understand this one truth, that by your very nature, you are unclutched, you are unattached, like what he said in the last few sutra, you are unattached. Again and again, because of the social conditioning, your fears, your worries, your greed, your pleasure, your pain, you're trying to clutch yourself and make a shaft, okay? Neither the shaft exists nor does the continuity happen or exist. You're just unclutched. By your very nature, you're unclutched. The person who understands this does not need any technique. You just fall back to the true self. Okay? If you cannot understand, then you are free to torture yourself with the techniques of constantly trying to remember, I'm not the doer, I'm not the doer. So you will fall back to that, the mind stuff, right? That you need a technique to practice. Next slide. So even in the 15th verse, I jump forward, okay? This verse, he say, Ashtavakra Sabha in this 15th verse, say, you are now forever free, luminous, transparent, still. This is the quality of consciousness. Free, luminous, that means light, right? You're transparent. You're just energy, and still, you're in that stillness. So the practice of meditation keeps one in bondage. Okay, so when you think that by through the meditation you can attain, you say no, that is what is going to put you in bondage. Okay, next slide. So we're going to enter into not the meditation. Okay, is to do the unclutching, understand, internalize the truth transmitted by Swamiji's personal experience and given by Ashtavakra. So if you understood what Swamiji went through and what he revealed in this sacred secret, then you know there's no technique, there's no method, just be. Just fall within, like, to your very nature of consciousness. Okay?
He achieved enlightenment at the age of 12.
That is first enlightenment experience, but it did not stay with him permanently. Yes. So he struggled for longer because he needed the time to mature. At 12, you cannot manage a global sangha, and it does not, right? So that period is to mature him. Okay? So now, ready? Any questions so far before we enter into 21 minutes of unclutching? Wait, please don't interfere, because otherwise we're now live. Huh? Okay, any questions so far? If no question, get your IBAN. Let's enter into the session. Take your IBAN. Remember, no meditation, just unclutching. Just be. Okay, I'll guide you through this. Okay, because when I was sitting with Swamiji in Awakening in 2009, I remember how he made us sit with him. Okay, so all of you, please take your IBAN. I'll give you 1 minute to go and fetch your IBAN. So I'm going to set a timer for 21 minutes. We'll do one energy cycle. I tell you, today I had a breakthrough when I was sitting with Swamiji. I think I set more than 21 minutes. But one thing I realized, suddenly I realized how, the energy, how one side is moving and then the other side is moving. Because I can feel the prana on one side and then the prana on the other side happen in that one energy cycle. So it's quite fascinating. It's like, that's interesting. Okay, so now you're going to sit one energy cycle, so to complete that whole where the energy flow happens. Okay, all of you, please sit now. Put the IBAN. Lisa is here. Surprise.
Hey, hi, I'm here. Sorry, my video is not really working very well. So
doesn't matter. So you just sit, put on IBAN, okay?
Okay.
So all of you sit now. I'm going to guide you into this unclutching session where there's no meditation. You're sitting just with yourself. Okay, so now sit in any comfortable meditative posture. Lock the body in stillness. Remember, you need to lock the body. So visualize you're holding a key and locking the knee joints, elbow joints, all the major joints so that you can remain in stillness in this meditative posture. No movement. Okay? So lock the whole body and then begin to relax the body and unclutch from this body. That means what? Relaxing and do not attach to this body. Do not get clutched to this body. Just feel that you are having this body, but you're not attached. Okay? So unclutch from this body. Just establish yourself that this physical shelf, this physical frame, where the consciousness is using. This consciousness is using to do what it needs to do in the outer world. But you are more than this physical shell, okay? This flesh and bone organs. So now, in that awareness of this physical shell, where your consciousness is residing, reflecting, start breathing. It means bring awareness to the breathing cycle. Infuse prana shakti. See, prana is a life energy which connects you to existence, right? Paramashiva say prana is the same in all the 11 dimensions. So connect to the source through your breathing. And establish in the space of now. The breath holds the key to come back to the now. When you're breathing, unclutch from any words inside, even though you're breathing. Just watch the breathing, that's all. Be a witness to your breathing. You don't have to say, oh, inhalation, exhalation, no verbalization inside. So unclutch from the breathing itself, just witnessing your breathing, your body. Unclutch from the mind, no verbalization, visualization inside of you. Unclutch from all verbalization, visualization. No technique, no methods, just be and sit. Experience being unclutched, your very nature. Whenever thoughts come, just witness it and let it go. relax from the unclutching. When you're ready, you can slowly remove the eyeband. So how was the session? You cut it? Anyone want to share?
I would like to share.
Yeah.
When you share about the books or the content, I remember once experience I was with Swamiji
Mm.
in the program Satashifoham. I think we will got many mandala in the in the program, and then I
Yes.
remember one participant. He asked about how to use the or how to cooperate with the mandala.
Mm.
Means after go home how to use it, something like that. And then Swamiji gives the very simple instructions. Means maybe okay, this mandala you just put in the bedroom and then you just put there lah, then it will okay. And the participant felt not so simple. So he chased Swamiji for further instruction, and then Swamiji just play with him lah. Say okay, you go back home every day, you do 100 rounds of sit up or something, and then went around your house few times, something like that. Just play with the participant, and then he say humans like that all they think very complicated. Give you actually many spiritual practice are so simple. Then if just tell you the simple way, but the human might won't be believe it. Then so that's why you need to create lots of things to 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 make us to do. Then we think okay, we participate and then we have give some effort and then so I can get it. So I remember this when you share you like section. I feel that spirituality sometimes or the practice is not so difficult, but because we don't believe it, so that's what we
Yeah.
need.
When it's so easy, our mind say, "Huh, so easy?"
Yeah,
No, you have to do a lot of hardship. You have to go through a lot, then you get it. So you're looking for that kind of torture before you think you have, because the mind will make you feel, oh, I've done a lot. I practice a lot, many years.
yeah. So I think today is I've never heard about the story about Swamiji's story in his personal experience about seeking for the the enlightened. This is the first time I heard about his story. So I was surprised. Even Swamiji he had the same experience, and then I'm happy to have this not story. I mean I now I know his personal experience, and how to say, something is very simple, but because our mind is too complicated, so we make everything complicated and then we don't believe it.
Mm.
This is what I got in this session.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? If there is no question, we'll conclude. So sit with this truth that you are already unclutched. Okay, so just fall back to the original state. That's it. After yoga, morning yoga, just sit. Get back to the unclutched space. That's it. Okay, just sitting and tuning back to the space of being unclutched and space of being free. Being, we call it, he said peaceful, free, and, blissful. That's all. Okay? So if you caught the truth, you will be able to start experiencing it. Okay? Today's session is about understanding. It's not about a practice. Once you got the understanding, you will see how it just become an experience in all of you. Okay? So if there's no question, let me just end with a Purna mantra. Seems like everybody is happy. Thank you all for joining. Sorry for the delay completing for that. So if you want to chat further, you can, do it on the, on the WhatsApp. Okay. So let's end with a Purna mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Saubham Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Parama Shiva Parga Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Good night, Nithyanandam. Thank you for joining. Be blissful. You want to end the live stream?